Which brings us into our second segment of the day, where now she's on the podium. So right before this, John Kirby was literally standing in that exact same spot as she was, taking questions about classified documents that you just saw in our first segment from Peter Doocy. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, folks, if you haven't already. Well, she's asked a question here from, I believe, NBC reporter regarding Joe Biden's regrets and classified documents, and you'll see her response here and how it differs from John Kirby. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Thanks so much. The president said last week he has no regrets in his handling of classified documents. When he saw how forthcoming former Vice President Mike Pence was, his team was, about the fact that they did find classified documents in his Indiana home, did the president regret not telling the public about this immediately and instead letting it leak in the press?
So I'll say this, and again, I'm going to be very prudent. I'm going to be very consistent here. We have seen statements from the president's personal lawyers. We have seen statements from the White House counsel's office that laid out, believe there was a timeline that laid out how this process went from our point of view. I'm just not going to go beyond that. I will refer you again to
Oh, we know the timeline all the way back in November 2nd before the midterm elections, and you guys neglect to tell anybody about it. And then you found more in December and still neglect to tell anybody about it. And then it was leaked by an outlet, and then everybody found out about it. And then after everyone found out about the first set of classified documents, you knew about the second set of classified documents, but neglect to tell anybody about that while you're still pushing the whole story that you're being transparent, you're following all the rules and all these other things. Don't give me this crap, Karine. You're a bunch of liars there, man. You are all a bunch of liars, and that's all you've been doing for 2 years.
Those documents, and I will just reiterate what the president has said. He takes classified documents, classified information very seriously, and I'm just not going to go beyond what
I keep saying you can't continue that message. If you notice, she stopped using the message of transparency because she realized that, hell, her own boss, the own administration, is not being transparent, so she's not using that word anymore. I mean, she literally used it for an entire week, and now it never comes out of her mouth. But then she's going to say he's being serious. How can you say he's being serious when literally for decades, longer than I've been alive, this guy has been taking classified documents to his private properties and just leaving them there and not reporting it like John Kirby said to do? Not reporting it. No. His lawyers reported. He didn't report crap. He didn't even know they existed, supposedly, which doesn't make sense now because of his dementia. I mean, hell, he doesn't even know he's president. I'm not even sure he knows that the president actually exists as a position of an elected office, but, that goes beyond the point here. But, she's going to continue to charade here, folks, that it's all serious. He took it as serious as possibly can be, even though it keeps happening. 4 times it's happened now, maybe 5. We don't know yet. Let's continue.
he has said. I'm not going to go beyond what has been shared in statements by his lawyers.
A number of lawmakers reacted yesterday to the revelations by former Vice President Mike Pence with some disbelief, saying that writ large, the system is broken when it comes to top officials handling classified documents. Does the administration agree with that assessment? And does the president, as the commander-in-chief, feel it's his responsibility to do something about it?
So look, I know my colleague was just asked this question, and I do want to be very careful. This is an ongoing legal matter here.
Well, I'm not asking
no,
about the
it
president's
is
case,
actually.
But
I hear you.
Speaking here, we have a number of current and formers who have now acknowledged, yes, they found classified documents in their possessions in places that are not secure, the nation's deepest secrets.
I hear the question.
I feel like he needs to address this.
I hear the question, and we're talking about the system. You're asking about how do we move forward. You're asking, what does the president think? And I am telling you that because there is I have to be really careful because this is a legal matter that is happening currently. And for me to comment on anything that's related to an ongoing investigation, that is not something that I can do from here.
The president.
This is where I'm so confused. And actually, I think I've even addressed this here since this whole thing has started. She's saying she can't talk about it, right? She's saying she's not going to elaborate or even talk about the president's thoughts. But she's going to continue to say what the president said about taking things seriously. And the president has at least addressed some of the questions, I don't put that in air quotes, some of the questions sporadically. So she's allowed to talk about this. The DOJ said out that nobody said that she can't talk about it. She's saying it's a legal matter, which is true, but you could still give your opinion on things to say the system is broken. I would say that it's broken, you guys. If Trump did it, Mike Pence just came out, had classified documents. Joe Biden's had classified documents for decades. And they're just sitting around people's homes in their garage in boxes next to their Corvette and stuff. Of course it would be broken then. If it keeps happening, yes, it is broken and needs to be fixed. People are maybe hell, somebody should be fired. I don't know who it is, but somebody got to go get in some trouble here because, like I said, there's a double standard. If you're president, it's okay. But if a lower level guy like you or I were to make the same move, you'd never hear from us again, right? We'd be like sent to Epstein Island. Something weird would happen. Again, if you have classified documents or if you're handling classified documents at some point in your life, what are the consequences of all this? Leave us in the comments below. Let's continue.
The president had said he was going to talk to us about this soon. He did make brief comments last week, but does he have any plans to answer the questions that we've been posing to him, to perhaps hold a press conference so that we can ask him a range of questions?
Totally understand the question. I don't have anything to preview right at this time on any opportunities for the president to address this. But as you all know, and I know questions were shouted earlier, there's many opportunities that you all have with him where he takes all of your questions, and he has over the past 2 weeks.
Answered questions.
No, I understand.
We've been shouting them.
No, he's answered. Actually, when he was in California, he took a question. When he was in Mexico City, he was asked it. He took a question. The day after that, the day after that, he took a question. So I'm just saying that it's not that he hasn't addressed this at all. He has. I just don't have anything to preview on a potential press conference or anything like that, and an opportunity that you all will have to hear from him directly. But again, he has been asked a question a couple of times, and he's answered it, and you all have heard from him on that.
This is a constant theme from this Biden administration. It's so disingenuous, you guys. Oh, well, he's answered some questions. Like check that one off. Oh, he answered your question because he said that he has no regrets. So that was enough because he's answered it twice in like 3 weeks here. And if you notice, they do the same thing. And I'll give you another example. It has nothing to do with these classified documents of them pulling the same stunt. Is him going to the border. He went to the border, you guys. He didn't talk to any illegal immigrants. He didn't see any illegal immigrants. They literally kicked out thousands of illegal immigrants days before he arrived to the place, El Paso. And now they can use it as an ammo. Go, well, he went to the border. What do you mean he didn't go to the border? He went to the border. Yeah, he saw a lot of things. So this is what they do. This is exactly what they do. And now they're pulling the stunt here, which is a political stunt, a political move, a PR move, going, no, he's taking your guys' questions. You can't say he's not taking your questions. He literally took 2 people's questions. What do you mean? And that's what you just saw there. It's so disingenuous. It's so disgusting. It's so wrong. And honestly, it's childish. It's like a type of argument that you would hear almost from a high schooler going, well, you said this, or, well, you did this. Yeah, well, I addressed it. Yeah. I answered it. I gave you an answer. Well, you gave me an answer, but you didn't give me an answer to the question that I asked, which is so typical from this administration, so typical from Karine Jean-Pierre. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.